Happy June! I do apologize for being a little quiet during the month of May, but I have an exciting announcement. The month of June is going to be Disney content. We literally, my family and I, my husband and 2 kids, we just returned from our Disney World trip yesterday. So I'm still a little tired, went ahead and put the glasses on because of the eye strain. And I wanted to tell you all about the trip and provide you with some extra fun Disney content this month. I am not a Disney YouTuber. This will be the only month probably in the entire history of my channel that you will see Disney content, okay? Because this was a once in a lifetime trip for us. It was insanely expensive. So it took 5 years to save up for this trip. I'm so glad we did it and I can't wait to share it with you. In July, I will return back to party game content, but I hope that you enjoy this extra magical content this month. I plan to put out at least 2 videos a week. So come back every Tuesday and Friday this month in June. It's 2025 for Disney content if you like to hear about fun and you like Disney. Hi, I'm Shawn. Welcome to my channel. We're just gonna chit chat like friends, okay? So sit back, relax, grab some coffee or something, ignore the light reflection off my glasses. Not all the videos will be like this. It took us 9.5 hours to drive from South Carolina to Disney and another 9.5 hours to drive from Disney back home. But my story begins back in the fall when I actually worked with a Disney planner, a Disney travel planner. I will put her information in the description box of this video. So if you're looking for someone to plan your Disney trip with you, please reach out to her. You don't pay anything additional for a Disney planner, which is fantastic, but they do make a commission off of your trip. And they're just great. They send you all these helpful emails. They help you decide whether or not to be on the dining plan, what resort you want to stay at, what rides are your priority, what's your budget. They book everything for you. They book your character experiences, your meal reservations, and just really help to take a lot of the stress out of the planning of a Disney trip. I started planning with her last fall of 2024. Now we've been saving up, like I said, for 5 years. So back in 2020, before the pandemic hit, I started saving up for a Disney World trip. My son, he is 17 this year. He has been begging to go to Disney World all of his childhood. We now have a daughter, she's 7. Felt like this would be the perfect time. My son will be a senior in high school. So we wanted to have the trip before he graduates and goes off to college. And my daughter being 7.5, she is the perfect age to enjoy all of the magic that Disney has to offer. So 5 years later, we finally have the money. And I booked it for the week of Memorial Day. I know some people might call me crazy, but you know, you have to work with schedules, right? So my husband, he said we either had to do it the week after Christmas, which is the busiest Disney week, lots of crowds, or Memorial Day weekend, or Memorial Day, which happens to fall, his birthday falls during that week, this past week. So that's what we booked. And honestly, the crowds I didn't think were that bad. And the weather was really great. It was very hot, very hot. It got anywhere from 90 to 93 degrees every day. And we had rain showers every evening, which worked out great for us because we are a morning family. We like to get up and do things early, and then come mid-afternoon, we like to relax. We left on Monday, Memorial Day, very early in the morning, 5 a.m. I think is what we left. I didn't hit traffic until we got into Florida. And then I switched with my husband and he drove us from Florida all the way into Disney. We did 3 park days. So Tuesday we did Hollywood Studios. Wednesday we did Magic Kingdom, and Thursday we did Epcot. I decided not to do Animal Kingdom because we have zoos, and I'd heard, you know, it's further away from all the other parks. Honestly, due to the money, we could only afford 3 park days. And then we left and came back to South Carolina on Friday. Yesterday when I'm filming this. I picked the Contemporary Resort to stay in, okay? So one, I knew we are the type of family when we come back after being hot and sweaty and doing all the activities, we want to relax. We want a room with comfy beds and a large room because there's 4 of us. And my son is almost 6 feet tall. So we knew they have a pull-out couch at the Contemporary that he slept on. And it was great length for him. It wasn't too short. My husband got a bed to himself and my daughter and I shared a bed. And the room was just perfect. The Contemporary Resort is shaped like a triangle and it has the monorail that runs through it. Just the convenience, location. It's right beside Magic Kingdom. It's within a walk. It's gorgeous. It's decked out in the Incredibles, which is why I'm wearing the shirt. So on the day we went to Magic Kingdom, that was the only day we coordinated our outfits and we all wore Incredibles t-shirts because one of my husband's favorite movies is Pixar Incredibles. So having the room decked out in an Incredibles theme, the hotel decked out in an Incredibles theme was very special. Now, for his birthday, we went to Hollywood Studios. My husband also is a huge fan of Toy Story. That day, I made sure to book a reservation at the Roundup Rodeo Barbecue in Toy Story Land so that we got to eat in this decked out room with all of Andy's toys. It was hilarious because they announced that Andy's coming and then literally everyone freezes in the room. So everybody picks a pose and freezes like you are one of Andy's toys. You don't want to be discovered that you are a toy that can move and talk. The servers all stopped. All of the Disney employees, everybody stopped and stood still for, I don't know, it was probably only 60 seconds. It felt for like a really long time. It happened to us twice while we were eating. To Hollywood Studios from the Contemporary, you take a bus. It's very convenient. You just go out of the lobby and there's places where benches for everybody to sit on. You hop on a bus and it's a 20 to 25 minute ride to Hollywood Studios. We got off, we went through security. We all took backpacks, except for my daughter. I didn't want her carrying anything. My husband and son and I, we took our hiking backpacks just because it has a lot of pockets. It has good ventilation because when it's hot and humid, the last thing you want is to get sweaty on your back. And we had 2 Osprey backpacks that just had the ventilation. They have the chest strap. They have the waist strap to help evenly hold the backpack on you so that you don't get the back strain, which was fantastic because my husband and I, we are both 45. We don't need any back strain. That worked out perfectly. We had to take a lot of stuff out of our backpacks. We got moved over to the security check where they went through our entire bags because we weren't sure at that point what we needed to remove from our bags. But they did the wand and everything, and the security officials were perfectly great. My husband and daughter, they got a security guy who had a great sense of humor. Sailed right through. I think we got there before 9 a.m. If you stay at a Disney resort, you get early access. So the parks open at 9, but you can get there at 8:30. You can get on rides at 8:30. Let me tell you the rides that we did for Hollywood Studios. We walked straight on to the Frozen show, which was hilarious. It had adult humor in it. It had kid humor in it. You get to see Anna and Kristoff and Elsa, and then they have 2 characters who are supposed to be the historians of the land, and so they kind of tell you the story and they make a lot of jokes, and they were hilarious. And then when Elsa comes, she makes it snow. And so there's like these foam bubbles that just fall on everybody. My daughter just absolutely loved it. We all loved it. It was a great show. Highly recommend. Then we went over to the Star Wars area of the park and we hopped on Star Tours, which is like it's a 3D show where you get to be in a ship. Please forgive me for not knowing all the Star Wars lingo, but you get to be in a ship. There's a couple little drops and it moves and shakes you around and turns you sideways, but it's basically characters and stuff. You're looking at 3D. It was excellent. That one we only had to wait, 10-15 minutes. Then we got on the Rise of the Resistance, which was a 55-minute wait, but the way they have it set up is fantastic. So you go, you're standing in line, you go through like the Ewok village, and then you're underground and you're boarding the ship. At one point you hop onto a cargo ship because you're part of the resistance, so they have to smuggle you in, and you're standing up, but you're riding and it feels like you're going somewhere. And then you go and you get off the ship, and then you go and you see all of the stormtroopers, and the cast members there were fantastic. So you go through different things that are interactive. So honestly, it felt more like, I don't know, 30, 35 minutes than a full hour. And then you get onto the ride and it was incredible. Oh my goodness, the characters and the screens, and your little ship moves around and you're trying to escape Darth Vader and Darth Maul. And my daughter freaked out. At one point, a lightsaber comes through the roof. Yeah, it was really good. Highly recommend. My husband and son and I agreed that that was our favorite ride out of all the parks. We loved it so much. So after that, we decided we wanted to sit down for a little bit. We decided to go see the Muppet 3D Vision because that's going away. I think June 2nd or June 7th, that show will no longer be there, but it's a 3D show. A cast member of Sweetums comes out. You get the two cranky old men, you know, that are always cracking jokes. That was really fun. We got water dripped from the ceiling at one point. Yeah, it was fantastic. Then we needed to kill some time before our lunch reservation. So every day I made lunch reservations at 2 p.m., which is very late for us for lunch, because I knew at that point of the day we're going to be tired, we're going to be hot, we're just going to want to sit down. And that's exactly what happened. We did get snacks. I'll do a separate video on all the snacks we had. So we did have snacks before lunch. So we went and saw, I can't remember exact name of it. It was a Mickey Mouse cartoon, but it's have you seen the TikToks about Potato Land? Oh my gosh, it was so boring. You're in like a little movie theater and you're just watching like old school kind of a Ren and Stimpy style Mickey Mouse cartoon. And there's something about Potato Land and winning a potato in there. And then you exit. It was nice and cool to sit though, okay? It was nice to just sit and be in air conditioning. But then you leave and you can take a picture with a potato. Y'all. I only recommend that one if you just need a place to sit and get out of the heat. So then we went back to Toy Story Land and we did the restaurant. Check-in process was really easy. You can check in 20 minutes before your reservation. Then they just send a text to your phone. You go in. There's a hostess or a host that meets you there and takes you to your table. And it was family style. And it was included in our dining plan. It was 1 credit of our dining plan for each person. And that included adult beverages. My son, because he's 17, he had to pay adult prices, but he couldn't have the adult beverage, but he ended up getting like a frozen chocolate drink, I think. My husband and I got some adult beverages, and then my daughter, she had a special kids menu that she ordered off of. I think she got chocolate milk that day. And then they just bring you like sides, tater tots and coleslaw, and there was a side of watermelon with mint that my daughter and I ate up. There was cucumbers, tomatoes, and onion salad. Then they bring out this big platter of meat. I had barbecue chicken. I know I had brisket. So it was kind of like a Texas style barbecue. It wasn't the type of barbecue we have in South Carolina or North Carolina that's shredded. It was more of a Texas barbecue. And then there was some kind of rib. I think it had ribs on there too. I ate so much of the brisket. We were stuffed. And then because it was my husband's birthday, they brought him out a special, a cupcake with a candle on it, which the cupcake is normally, you get like a tiny little plate with little shot glasses of the different desserts they have, which were really good. But at that point I was really full. So I might have eaten 1 bite of the dessert. We sat there, we refueled on water, we reapplied sunscreen. Yeah, and then we left and we caught the bus and rode the 20-25 minutes back to the Contemporary Resort. And we just chilled because by the time we got back, I want to say it was around 4:30, 5 o'clock. One of the other reasons I picked the resort is because we could see fireworks. We had a balcony view with fireworks, but y'all, it rained that night. So I think the fireworks got pushed back to like 10 o'clock at night. The sliding glass door in our room like steamed up because of the humidity. So we saw fireworks and it was beautiful, but we didn't watch too much of it because it was hard to see. It was very blurry. And then we went to bed and we got up the next morning and we went to Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom, we did get there at 8:30. From the Contemporary Resort, it's only a 5 to 10 minute walk to Magic Kingdom. And they have a separate, if you walk in, they have a separate security area that was super easy. Like, I don't even think we waited at all in a line. We just walked through security. They checked our bags and then sent us on through the little scanners where they scan your finger. I probably didn't say this, but we did not do magic bands. We just used our room key. I love that Disney integrates everything together. So we all had a room key that opened our hotel room. You could pay for all your meals on it. It accessed the dining plan. It also accessed whatever credit card you had on file. And it got you into all the parks. So you would scan your little room key and put your finger up. We also had the room keys and stuff on the phone, and the app does it. They have so many ways for you to check in. You don't have to buy the Magic Band. We did Magic Kingdom. We all wore our incredible shirts, walked straight on the Little Mermaid ride. It's like shells. It tells the Little Mermaid story. It was okay. It was all right. From there, we got on the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. There was only a 45-minute wait. And that one, again, they had great outdoor fans to keep you cool, like industrial size fans. And then they had little interactive gems and barrels for the kids to interact with while you were standing in line. This was my daughter's first roller coaster. It was hilarious. So my son and I rode together in our little cart, and then my husband and daughter were behind us, and all I could hear was my daughter screaming, crying, and laughing all at the same time. I don't know how she conveyed all those emotions at the same time, but she did. It was a great little ride. It has a couple of little drops. It goes fast, but it's nothing crazy. It's great for kids. Loved it. That was my favorite ride of Magic Kingdom. So then we hopped on to the Haunted Mansion. That was a longer line. I think we waited 50 minutes for that one. But again, once you get through the outside part and you go into the mansion, it's cooler. They have tombstones to look at. They have interactive pictures on the wall. The cast members are great. We got on that one, rode that through. It was very cute. My daughter said the Haunted Mansion was her favorite ride of all of the rides we did at Disney. She absolutely loved being scared, evidently, because the whole time she was like, oh, this is scary. Oh, it's so scary. It was really cute. After that, we hopped on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. We didn't have to wait too long for that one, maybe 20 minutes. Yeah, it was okay. You know, we did get wet on that one, got a little splash. That one was fun. Then we got on It's a Small World. At that point, I had a horrible headache right here. We did keep everybody hydrated. So my son had a Stanley, one of the tall, thin ones. My daughter had a Stanley like that, and I had an Owala. And the Owala was perfect because the Contemporary, you can fill up with the pebble ice. Oh my goodness. And the Owala mouth allows ice to come out of it and water. And so I was just crunching on ice waiting on all the lines. It's crunching on ice. Everything stayed cool. All of our drinks stayed cool, except for my husband. He took like a plastic water bottle instead of the still ones. So I do recommend you get the still ones. We all brought extra bottles of water in our backpacks. But if you go to any quick service little station, they will give you free cups of water to fill your water bottle up with. So I was miserable. I had a headache. I just sat there with my hands over my ears and just tried to get rid of the noise. But everybody else, the rest of my family loved that. Typically, I do love It's a Small World. Then we decided we wanted to ride another ride, but the lines were too long. And again, we were bumping up with our 2 o'clock restaurant reservation. So we ended up doing the Tiki Room. I do not recommend that one. It's very old school, like bird puppets coming down with old school music, and you're just sitting in a circle. The only redeeming quality is it is a good place to just sit in the air conditioning. Okay, so if you need a place to sit, the Tiki Room is it, and it was probably only half full. Like nobody's going to the Tiki Room. So we did that, and then it was time for our restaurant reservation at Cinderella's Castle. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I booked this not only for my daughter, but for my childhood self. Okay, I remember as a kid going to Disney World and always hearing that you could go inside the castle, but never getting to do that. When you first enter, they greet you as princess, prince, and lord. It when you come in, and Cinderella is there to greet you. So my daughter got to talk with her, get her picture taken with her, and they would have taken all of our pictures, right? But this was my daughter's moment. So we did that, and then you walk up a stone spiral staircase to get to the dining room, and they take you to your table. We had a table by a window. It was absolutely gorgeous. And then we got to meet the other princesses all come to your table. We got to meet Aurora from Sleeping Beauty. And they're so great because they stay in character, you know, and their makeup is perfect and their dresses are perfect. We got to meet Ariel from The Little Mermaid. My daughter was very excited to meet her. Jasmine was always my favorite Disney princess, and she was there. So my daughter and I took a picture together with Jasmine, and then Merida was there. It was a really great interaction. We did get some souvenirs from there. I guess I'll talk about that when I talk about like stuff merch and souvenirs we got from Disney World, because they did give us 2 really cool souvenirs at that lunch. Now the food, I'll talk about that in a video too, this was not family style. You actually had choices you could order from. It was also a more expensive character dining experience. So we all picked out different food. My husband and I did have the same adult beverage. This one also cost 2 dining credits per person. Oh, I forgot to also tell you, it doesn't include tip. And they automatically put the tip on. So we didn't have a choice to pick a tip. Even if there's just 4 of you in the party, they add the tip on. So if you want me to talk about how much we spent at Disney, let me know down below. So you can imagine if it's $75 per person to eat there, how expensive the tip would be. I had the best dessert at this one. It was, I got the cheesecake, not knowing it was going to be literal cheese-shaped cheesecake. It was super cute. I think we had the best themed desserts at this restaurant. So I took the recommendation of the server, and she said to get the pork belly for the appetizer. Now my husband was smart and he got a salad. I was like, the way she described it, it sounded good. It sounded like it was going to be like bacon. It was not like bacon. It was not good. It was like a crusty outside with a soft squishy inside. And then I had the lamb for my main entree. It was okay, but you know, we were there for the experience and to meet the princesses. Fantastic. Again, after lunch, we were done. Packed up. We could have taken the monorail. The monorail from Magic Kingdom to the Contemporary is the first stop, so it only takes 5 minutes on the monorail if you get on the monorail. Whereas if you ride the monorail from Contemporary to Disney World, it takes 25 minutes because Magic Kingdom is the last stop. But if you ride it from Magic Kingdom to Contemporary, it's only 5 minutes. But we needed to walk. After we ate all of that food, we wanted to walk it off. We just walked back to our hotel and had a fabulous evening. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, what did we do the rest of the evenings? While we were there, we came back. Pretty much did the same thing every time we went back to the hotel. We rested. We all took showers because at that point, you're so gross and sweaty and hot, and you've sweated through your pants and your shirt. Your feet are tired. Everybody takes showers. My husband would take my daughter down to the arcade. The Contemporary Resort has an arcade my daughter absolutely loved. Or we would go to the gift store. And then for dinner, I think I only ate one thing one night because I was not hungry at all. But for the kids, the Contemporary has a cafe that you can pick up chicken fingers, chicken tenders, and fries, and then like cool looking cupcakes and desserts. That's what we ordered. My husband would go down, pick it up, and then take it back to our room. We would eat in our rooms every evening. So it was fantastic. And then again, we all fell asleep. I don't think any of us saw the fireworks. Again, it rained, poured, thunder, lightning, downpour for the fireworks. I think the fireworks were at 10 o'clock again. I remember vaguely waking up from a deep sleep and hearing the fireworks and seeing them because my daughter and I had the bed closest to the sliding glass door and the balcony and going, oh, the fireworks, and then going back to sleep. Okay, so the next day we went to Epcot. This time we slept in. We were exhausted, y'all. We were exhausted. I think we got into Epcot at 9:30. We did take the monorail. It is so nice to take the monorail from inside your hotel. The security is in the hotel. So you go through the security right there. We didn't have to wait or anything. Quick in, quick on the monorail. And then I think maybe 10 minutes to get to Epcot, 15 minutes. All right, sorry, my camera cut off. I'm not sure where I was at. This is a very long video. I promise not all the videos I do, my Disney content will be this long. This is just because it's the overview. So if you take the monorail, it takes you to like the ticket count. It's like a 5-minute ride to like the ticket area and transfer station. You have to get off the monorail, follow the signs down and around, and you get on a different monorail that goes the opposite way, and then that takes you to Epcot. So it's like a transfer. The monorail, you get off it and then you get back on it. So that was a little, we didn't know to prepare for that. So Epcot, there's a lot less shade at Epcot, y'all. You're gonna get hotter at Epcot. There's also a lot more walking. If you want to know my step count for all of these days, let me know, because I was wearing my Apple Watch. I did count my steps. Epcot, we did Spaceship Earth first, which is the big golf ball. We practically walked right on there. I think it was like a 10-minute wait. Then we did Seas with Nemo and Friends, which was a very, very cute little ride inside the aquarium. And then we took a good deal of time looking around the aquarium, looking at all the fish, looking at the manatees, looking at the sharks. They had a lot of little tiny fish exhibits, seahorses. We stayed in there for quite a bit of time. Then we went outside and did Journey Through Water, which is the Moana exhibit. It's an outdoor walking trail, which sounds boring, but it's not. They have interactive water experiences. So like you'll be walking on this little path and water will be shooting up above your head. You stand on certain things and it makes the water shoot out. There was one interaction where, I don't know, 7 or 8 people, strangers, had to get on the exhibit yourself. Everybody had to work together to get this huge waterfall spurt, big thing of water display to come up. Like you had to work together. It was really cute. My daughter absolutely loved it. There was waterfalls you had to run through. It was very impressive. We loved that. Then we went on Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which is located in France. That was the longest one we waited for. They make you do 3 people per row. So it's 2 rows in a mouse-shaped cart. I don't know how to describe it. It moves on its own. It's not attached to everything. And so you have 2 rows. So they put 2 random kids, random strange children with my husband on the front row and with me on the back row. So that was interesting. That one is a very, very short ride. But when you go into the bakery, it's like a 3D ride. You have did we have 3D glasses on? Maybe. But it's a bunch of screens and you're moving all around and everything. They pipe in some scents of like buttery croissants when you're in the bakery part. And you're like the mouse and you're trying to escape people hitting you with pans and kicking you, and you're following the other mice, you're going behind walls. It was really cute, but it felt very short to me for how long we waited. Then we went on Journey into Imagination, which is with the Figment Dragon. That was fine. Then we were going to try and get on the Frozen ride. The line was way too long. Again, we ran up against the 2 o'clock restaurant reservation I had. We just weren't going to have enough time because the line for that was 50 minutes. Our restaurant reservation was the complete opposite end of Epcot from the Frozen ride. So we walked out of there. We were all hot and tired. We went and found some slushies, and we happened to wander into Anna and Elsa's land and realized we were there at the perfect time to do the meet and greet with Anna and Elsa. So we stood in line maybe 10 minutes, and my daughter got to meet Anna and Elsa, and we got our picture taken, and it was a really great experience. They spent time talking to her. Yeah, it was really great. So I'm glad we did that. Then we left and we booked it. We booked it across Epcot because we had to be back towards Spaceship Earth. We went to the Garden Grill restaurant, which is in this huge building that feels like a mall food court. And at first we were worried. We were like, this is a mall food court. This isn't going to be fun. But the restaurant is on a circle, and slightly moves. All the tables are set up so that you're watching like another ride. You see people on another ride. You see water and mountains and landscapes, and you're moving. You're slowly moving. It's really cool. I suffer from motion sickness, so does my daughter and my son, and we didn't have any issues with it. I also have to say this was the best character experience we had. The Garden Grill restaurant, fantastic. Food, excellent. Experience with the dining room rotating, fantastic. Characters, fabulous. We met Chip and Dale, and then Mickey and Pluto, and they had great interactions. They were great with their son, with their body language and communicating with us. They stayed at the table longer, and they came around twice. In the course of us eating, we saw all those characters twice. It was fantastic. My husband that day, I forgot to tell you guys, he was wearing a shirt that said Samantha, Samantha, Samantha on it. And when we were at the Elsa meet and greet, Elsa looked at him and said, we've been looking for Samantha. So many cast members would come up to him and say, oh, I've always wanted to meet Samantha. It was really funny. The most walking ever we did was at Epcot. We went back to the hotel. We crashed. Great experience. The next morning we woke up. We got breakfast. We did the whole Mickey waffles, breakfast burritos, ate it in the room, packed up, and left on our 9.5 journey, where I drove through a storm with my flashers, and there were tree limbs, there was flooding, and it was a grand old adventure on the way home. Stay tuned for other content. Other topics I have that I'll be talking about over this month will be what we took to Disney that I couldn't live without, like the things that we definitely needed to beat the heat and to make it at the Disney parks. Stuff that we took to Disney that we never used. Thoughts on the Disney dining plan. Contemporary resort pros and cons. Best and worst adult Disney beverages. Best and worst Disney snacks. And souvenirs we bought at Disney. So if that sounds interesting to you, come back. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.